Paul McCartney did it more than 40 years ago. Now Heather Mills, his ex, may be planning a British invasion of her own. Reports say that McCartney's ex-wife is moving to L.A. Mills saying people in England just don't like her, and she thinks folks here in America will be kinder. Well, it didn't look that way this weekend. She judged the Miss USA pageant in Las Vegas and was booed by the crowd. Joining us now from London is entertainment reporter Neil Sean. Neil, thanks for being back with us.
A pleasure, Edie. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. Do people really dislike her that much there that she feels she's being driven out of the country?
You know, this is a problem with Heather Mills, Edie. She changes her story so many times. She's a living fantasist, basically, because when she was on TV over here just last weekend, she was basically saying that she's got a lot of support here in the UK and she has no plans to leave here because she wants to stay here so that her daughter can be near her father. So consequently, once again, we get another story from Heather claiming that she wants to base herself over with you. What's interesting from our point of view is, trust me, there will be nobody stopping her to stay here. She consequently is, you know, basically, you know, we say go, off you go, we'll even buy you the ticket. But I think from Paul McCartney's
well, but let me ask you about Paul McCartney. He's planning this big to-do for his former wife, Linda, apparently the love of his life, for her work, her photography, talking about what a wonderful person she was. Is this something that was planned a long time ago, or is this kind of to rub it in Heather Mills' face?
Do you know what? He's been brought forward a little bit. And what's interesting here is the fact that, as you rightly said, in all the press sort of stories, we interviewed him last week, and he basically said to me, Edie, that, you know, his ex-wife, Linda, who he loved very much, was a rather sort of shy, retiring type of lady who didn't really see the need to go on TV and ingratiate herself or indeed get involved with many things. She was quite happy being a mother and being a supportive wife. I thought it was a very veiled dig to, of course, the present situation. It is a wonderful exhibition, and I think if you're a fan, you want to go and see it. And you'd really do see, in fact, what a wonderful wife she was. I'm not knocking Heather on that front, but on the other side of the coin, you realise what a quiet life this poor man had. Incredible when you think.
Let me ask you about another wife, Camilla Parker Bowles. Man, she spent decades trying to get where she is right now. And now there are these reports that she's bored with life with Prince Charles and really would prefer someone else deal with the day-to-day, you know, wife duties, and I'd just like to be the consort again. Is that true at all?
Let me tell you, it's like the famous Marilyn Monroe song, after you get what you want, you don't want it. And I think basically, as we've all been there, if you've ever gone back to an ex-love, you realise it's not necessarily for you. Now, I'm not saying that's the case with Camilla. What we do know, though, is that she doesn't really like the day-to-day royal duties. You know, you've got to remember, Edie, that she spent her life not really having to conform to many things other than herself.
Right.
So now there's this big diary of things that she doesn't necessarily want to get involved with. She quite likes, you know, messing around with the horses and having a quiet smoke.
It's a different life. Now, another person from the UK, J.K. Rowling, she, of course, of the Harry Potter fame, now says that her creativity has been squashed because there's somebody trying to publish a book about Harry Potter, basically a reference book, it sounds like. She's in court saying, you've got to stop it. It is so traumatic for me that someone would do this. I can't even write.
I met JK last week at the London Book Awards, and she went on about this for ages, actually. He bored me senseless. The bottom line is, you know, this woman is rich, you know. I mean, what basically somebody's done is gone and written a little encyclopedia, lexicon publishing are doing it, and you do kind of think that there must be something more in it, because you would have thought they would have backed down at this point. They're going to court and fighting it out. It seems to be a very popular concept. She says she wants to do her own version and donate all the money to charity. So consequently,
nice.
If she wasn't going to do that, she's going to have to do it now.
Well, she certainly doesn't need any more money. Rich isn't even a term to describe how much money she has. There's something well beyond
Magical
that now.
money.
Hey, Neil, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
A pleasure. Thank you.
They were chasing their dreams of becoming princess and wound up being held in captivity. But they weren't saved by a knight in shining armor. The cops came to the rescue. Reality TV allegedly turned criminal next. And not exactly the picture of a perfect honeymoon, where one unlucky bride wound up just a week after tying the knot.